We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Carlos. Carlos has his theater in a great room. All told, he's got close to 8,500 cubic feet of air to contend with. The space is 30 feet wide, 28 feet long, and 8 feet high. And he's got a 75-inch TV centered on the 30-foot front wall. 8 feet high is really... usually great rooms have like vaulted ceilings, so it's an awfully big space to only have 8 feet high. But anyways, he sits about 10 feet away from that TV and his front speakers. On the right wall is a door to the backyard. Door to the backyard near the front right corner, a hallway entrance in the middle of the right wall, and then the kitchen in the rear right portion of the room. There's another hallway on the back wall next to the kitchen. I'm pointing for my own benefit, not for you people. So basically, solid front wall, solid left wall, wide open back wall, wide open right side. Okay, good. All right, here we go. I have not read this question before. I am really unprepared. I saw it. His speakers are Klipsch reference series. And he's been using stereo subwoofers, the Klipsch RSW10Ds, dual 10-inch drivers, one for each of his front towers. He also has an RSW12D that's been handling the LFE channel, plus the bass managed bass from his surround and surround back speakers. He wants stronger bass. He already has ideas in mind for expanding to Atmos, and he isn't so much looking for help with that. He just wants to get his bass in order. He's very open to the idea of using a mini DSP unit with DRAC, especially since he intends to keep using his stereo subwoofers set up just for his front main speakers, since he already greatly enjoys them for two-channel music listening. So this is all about the LFE channel and strong bass for movies. The lone Klipsch sub at RSW12D isn't getting the job done. Budget is not really constrained. He's willing to use 4 subwoofers if that would be the best. The Power Sound Audio V3600i are front runners. He also considered SVS PB13 Ultras and Funk Audio 18.3s or 21.0 really XLs. Sorry, it's just that stupid number.
Yep, that's the name.
Placement options are a little bit limited, though. The right side of the room has a door in the right front corner, and the kitchen in the left rear corner, the hallway in the middle. So what do we recommend? First, in terms of which subwoofers you should buy, and second, in terms of how many and where he might place them. He did not give us a picture?
Nope.
This is begging for a picture, dude. Seriously, Carlos.
I think the description.
He did a really good job.
Good,
he did a really good job with the picture, with the description, but the picture would help. Yeah, these are. You need a massive amount of subwoofer if you're going to try that.
8,500 cubic feet.
Yeah, that's huge. Would the Ultras even handle that? I mean, that's really...
Yeah, I mean, the Ultras are good up to about, one of them would be good up to about 5,000, maybe 6,000 cubic feet. I wouldn't use one of them to power 8,500 cubic feet.
Yeah.
No, you're going into the mega subwoofer categories, the ones that used to be dominated by like Seaton and JTR, which are still options, by the way. Seaton and JTR would still be options here. But, we do have Power Sound Audio out there. We got Funk Audio. We have HSU as well.
Yeah, that's true. That hadn't been mentioned
and...
as well.
Rhythmic is up there too. They've got some crazy high output 15-inch options as well. So honestly, I mean, you've got a lot of choices here that none of them would be bad, right? There's many ways to come at this. One way that I actually like, simply because it's the least expensive, would be to actually end up getting 4 of the HSU VTF-15H MK2s. That is, assuming you're going to get at a minimum 2, right?
Right.
You could actually get 4 of those for basically the lowest cost out of any of the options in terms of having subwoofers that could contend with this type of airspace that you're trying to fill. Those VTF-15Hs, one of them could nicely contend with about 6,000 cubic feet. So you get 4 of them together, and potentially you are stacking them. Potentially you could have a pair of stacked. Right? Because that's one way. But one reason I kind of like that is because now it gives you the option to play with either placing 4 subwoofers around the room where you have space available or stacking them. You have the option, whereas if you get one of these gigantic boxes that has the dual drivers in it, first of all, trying to move 240 pounds around even once,
It's not
Ooh, that's
fun.
a job.
Yeah.
Now, not that the VTF-15Hs are small; they're 110 pounds, but 110 pounds is so much easier to move than 240.
Yeah.
So I just like the idea that it gives you more options to play with.
So when he says stacking them, what he really means is stacking two on top of each other, and then so using them as dual subs or two subs rather than four subs. That's what he means, so that we're not confused.
Yeah.
He's not saying stack four of them up on top of each other.
No.
Though you could theoretically do that. Not in this room.
Theoretically, you could. Yeah.
You probably. I don't know if it's 8 feet is enough space for this, but yeah, you could theoretically do that. Yeah, I can get behind that suggestion. I could get behind that. Placement here is going to be a real. It's going to be a real issue because you basically got a huge that hallway. I mean, hallways are such a real pain for me because every time you've got a hallway, like my house in Jacksonville was like this. Like I had these open rooms and stuff, and when you walked around, you didn't really notice so much the base sort of getting swallowed up in those spaces. But you walk down that hallway, and you really could tell that the bass was going down there and just reverberating through like crazy. And at the end of the hallway, if there's a bathroom, you open the bathroom, like, it is the loudest bass in the whole house in this room right here. And, it just becomes such a hassle. So, I think having the flexibility to deal with moving things around is not necessarily a bad thing. Plus, if you have limited placement options, stacking these things will give you extra output for each place, and still allow you to get some more uniformity across your seating area. I get behind this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, I'm mentioning that first because it's the least expensive option to get you what I would consider entirely capable output for your room size. Now, from there, you can go to any of the more expensive options simply because you prefer a different brand, or you have like a different look, or whatever it is, right? So you could go to 4 rhythmic FP15 HPs, right? 4 of those would absolutely crush just as hard as the HSUs would if you just like them better for some reason. If you want to go with the Power Sound Audios, right, you could go with 4 of their 15 or 18-inch drivers, or you could go with the V3600i is a dual 18-inch driver setup. That's where the 36 comes from in there.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm a bigger fan of having 4 separate boxes with the option to stack them, turn them into duals if you want to. I'm a bigger fan of going that way. One of the things he really likes the look of the Funk Audios, but you're talking like $5,000 plus for each one of those, right? That starts to get pretty darn pricey. The HSUs are available in a real rosewood finish if you want that. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's still way less expensive than the other options. So to me, it's a little bit hard to get away from the HSUs just in terms of value. Because with 4 of those VTF-15Hs, you'll get the output you need. You can get a nice rosewood real wood finish if you want it, and you'll have 4 of them that will be easier to move around and experiment with. If you want to go to anything above that, then that's an option. But if I were saying what would I recommend, that's what I would recommend. So
now, as far as placing them, this is where where I'd really like to have this image, right? Because you do the back of your room and the right side of your room are kind of pretty open there, and the left is really not. So, and
like there's really no corner on the right side of his room at all, because it's either going to be in front of a door that can't be blocked, or it's going to be in the kitchen, which doesn't work either. So that right hand side of the room is problematic.
What about a ceiling? Can you put them in the ceiling? Because apparently that is an option for people.
I mean, I don't know what the walkway situation is. I mean, could you actually sort of set these up around your theater area, which would actually potentially give you something closer to near field subs? At least one pair of them might be more like near field, which could really help you out.
You could just put them on either side of your couch, almost. If your couch is sort of centrally placed in the space.
And it sounds like it is, because he said his TV is centered on the 30-foot wide wall. So I imagine his couch isn't like
he could
way
do what
over
you
to the
do
left
and put the ultras on either side of the couch.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use, and then maybe you don't need, I mean, you're still going to want to pressurize the entire space, but you don't want dual subs stacked on top of each other if you're going to do that. You could.
That could be pretty neat. I mean, people would walk in and go, whoa. I'm about to have my head exploded.
But you're going to think those are too close, but frankly, it's going to be weird. it's going to be weird that they're so close, and because you have two of them, you're not going to be able to localize them. Because
But that could actually work really well because you could have quite centrally located subs in the room,
Yeah.
which acoustically speaking is not bad at all.
No.
In fact, it's very favorable.
Yeah.
So yeah, having them right on either side of your couch is definitely up if that works. I have no idea if that.
If you get the real rosewood finish on the HSUs that he's talking about, they're end tables. They're just really weird end tables with speaker grill on them or something.
And triangular ports, but you know.
Ask them if they can make you a special grill. Ask HSU if you can do a special grill so that you can cover the whole thing, or just wrap the whole thing in fabric or something. I don't know. So that, anyways, I say either side of the couch. I don't think that's gonna.
No, honestly, yeah.
I think that might work.
I think that very well might work. Yeah.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.